catching up with some of your favorite stars in our studio. This time we catch up with Nollywood sweetheart, actor Olumide Oworu. He gives us a little sneak peek into certain relationships in Nollywood and the dynamics within them and more. Hear him.
By virtue of being an actor, you get to meet people, you get to go to places, different locations, and certain areas that I would go to, certain places I would go to, or certain characters I would play, for me, is me playing a character is an escape. You know, I go on set, I do my thing, and I go back home. But then I realized a lot of those places, a lot of those characters are real people's stories. A lot of the locations that we would use for, say, a ghetto location is where somebody actually lives. These are real people's conditions. And it really just got me thinking, because at the end of the day, life is hard, but how can we make it not as hard as it needs to be, or harder than it needs to be? And for me, the biggest way to do that really is just, through politics. It is a way to just help the average person in society and just help make their lives a little bit better. Because if certain things in the system worked better, people would have less things to worry about. That was really the biggest motivation for me to be a part of politics. So very eye-opening as well. There's so many things that I've learned about myself, learned about my immediate society, about the country generally, that I would not have known if I didn't start out in politics or try out in politics. And it's something that I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of the campaign that we were able to put together. Zero experience, zero funding, just really trying to make a difference and use my platform as best as possible. And yeah, very happy to have been able to say that I did that at 28. And it just opened my eyes to the fact that there's people going through a lot, and at the end of the day, giving back is the most important thing, so now no matter what work I have going on in entertainment, at the back of my mind I know that there's people that I can be helping. So it's how can I give back to society, basically.
Olumide, 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 Olumide.
Can you, what is going on here? What is Olumide? What's your name?
In regular business sectors, you hear situations or stories of people having to do certain things to get a promotion, or to even get the job placements in the first place. So or even in schools, there's sex for grades. So unfortunately, it is something that is embedded deep in the world system of sorts. But at the end of the day, you then need those of us in the industry that have platforms or voices that carry weight to then speak out against these situations. And at the end of the day, we need to start having people being held accountable. I think one of the things that happens in Nigeria especially is there doesn't seem to be a lot of consequence for a lot of actions. And some people feel like they can get away with things if they have, money, or if they're in positions of influence. So I think as an industry, we need to start holding people accountable. There needs to be sanctions. There needs to be more investigations. There just needs to be sanctions, really. You just need to have people just be more accountable. And I think if certain people are, brought to book, it will then help to deter other people from said behavior. We just need to speak about it more and not have things be swept under the carpet. And we also need to stop victim shaming as well, because that also affects other people from coming out to speak on, their own experiences. So I think if we can have a balance between all of these, then it will definitely, reduce the occurrence of, having people sell their bodies for work.
Stop fooling that girl. You're not going to marry her.
Mommy, are you for real? What do you mean I'm not going to marry her? Look, Mommy, I have said this before, and I'll say it again. I am not going to be the sacrificial lamb. What's the meaning of all of this now? And Mommy, where did this superior attitude thing come from? I thought you liked EJ.
Yeah, I do.
When you're in the industry, there's more of a spotlight on your life. So a lot of people know what's going on, or want to know what's going on, or at least have an opinion of what should be going on in your personal life. So it then makes it seem as if a lot of the situations or a lot of the relationships or marriages in the entertainment space are not lasting. But I think that's really just a reflection of where we're at as a society right now. Just the disposition people have towards what it means to be in a relationship or what it means to be married over time, I believe, has been watered down. I believe a lot of our core value systems, a lot of our core family value systems have been watered down over time. And I think a lot of people in relationships now are also not having a lot of the hard conversations early on in the relationship. I think it's important for you to, even before you get into a relationship, start to find yourself and know what you want, know what your non-negotiables are, and be upfront about it and be your most authentic self. So that way you kind of get a rough idea of whether or not you can tolerate the excesses of your partner. But at the end of the day, it really also isn't down to any formula. It's really just also being lucky with random selection. At the end of the day, if you're lucky and you meet somebody who is as committed to making a relationship work, because it's a two-way thing, then yeah, even when you have difficult times, because you will have rough patches, but it takes two people to want to make it work. So I think it's down to that. And also in the industry, we're very busy people. Our schedules are very crazy. So it's also very hard to manage a functional relationship off of the back of two extremely crazy schedules where you don't really have as much time to spend with each other or communicate with each other. And communication really is the very core of a relationship. If you cannot communicate as much and spend enough time really building the foundations of your relationship, is bound to suffer, especially when tough times come. So I think that's one of the hardest things for us in the industry, is just managing a lot of things going on with the industry, with society as well, and with a relationship. Is extremely hard, and unfortunately we suffer for it.